afternoon, welcome back for our main event today. A fight that I'm very, very, very excited about. I think every now and again you bring two fighters together, and even by the head-to-head you can tell this is going to be a great fight. June 25th, the O2 Arena. George Groves against Martin Murray, official eliminator for the WBA Super Middleweight Championship of the World. It's a really, really big domestic fight between two world-class operators. Of course, we know that George Groves has been involved in some big domestic and world title fights with big profile in the UK, and Martin Murray has been involved in some huge world title fights all around the world, and finally he gets his chance to have that huge profile fight in the UK. June 25th is a very special night, of course. The return of Anthony Joshua defending his IBF heavyweight world title. Of course, this wonderful fight. Chris Eubank Jr. returning, defending his British middleweight title against Tom Doran. Dillian Whyte, who's just joined Matchroom, will also be on the bill. Conor Benn as well. John Wayne Hibbert against Andreas Scarpa for the WBC silver title, and a couple of other title fights still to be added. It's a great fight here and a great night, and as always we thank our exclusive broadcast partner Sky Sports, and I pass to Adam Smith to talk about the night and also about this great fight.
Well, the night's fantastic. June the 25th, another one for Anthony Joshua, and the electric atmosphere that Joshua fights bring. The unbeaten American Dominic Breazeale, we've been with him in California, and he really fancies the chances of bringing that IBF crown back to the States and make up for what he felt was a very embarrassing performance from Charles Martin, his compatriot. We look forward to the main event as always with Joshua, but what a card, and this one, I mean, we were in London last week for Chris Eubank and Tom Doran. We know Conor Benn's on the card. We just heard Dillian Whyte's going to be involved. But this fight for me is one of those great 50-50 domestic dust-ups with everything to gain for the winner as well. You know, Martin Murray badly needs a big victory. George Groves badly needs a big victory. I think their styles are going to mesh. What I like about it is that they've got huge respect for each other as well. You know, they both know this is a really, really tough fight, and it's going to be a tough fight. You know, George is the more natural super middleweight, maybe with that long jab and maybe the extra skill set, who knows. Martin Murray comes in with probably more experience. He's been on the road, he's had those chances of world titles, and I know he wants another one. I think it's a fantastic throwback type of fight, and I tell you what, it's the one fight on the night I'm looking forward to the most. Thank you, Eddie, for making it.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you also to my friend and long-time business partner, Callie Sowland, for helping to make this fight. We know you're also, like us, invested in the division, and this is a fight where, although a world title is not officially yet on the line, might change, we know that it's a must-win for our boys, and a great fight to be involved with on June 25th.
I'd like to also extend those compliments back. Also thank you, Adam, and the whole team at Sky. Yeah, it's a division that we've had a lot of history in. It's a division where we have a rich history in as a company. It's a decision was a decision taken a couple of years back to go down the road with George, a road which has had a down last year. However, now working together with Shane, we feel we're very much back on track. I think you see it wasn't world-class opposition in January and last month, but the way George walked through these challenges, you already see that the path is on the right way again. This, of course, is a big step up. Martin Murray is definitely a world-class contender. We believe that George will be the next world champion out of our stable at this weight class. And you know, people are just saying it's a 50-50 fight. I was thinking on the plane this morning, both guys, if you look at it on paper, three world title chances. 3 times they've lost, but 3 times under very different circumstances. They haven't. It's been always a case of misfortune, a case of an act of superb skill against them, or there's been no fights where they've been outclassed. On Martin's side, I can say I promoted the fight over in Germany against Abraham. It was up till the 8th round, and it was after that. was a very close finish. It was, for me, he definitely won the fight against Felix Sturm. And you know, and if you look at George's challenges, also a lot of misfortune in the fights. You know, I'm not going to talk about the Jack fight again, but you know, had those been under different circumstances, now I think you know we'd be sitting here with a green belt in front of us, and that's what we're here for. And this is a fight that takes us to the next stage. And I think that the difference on the night, in our eyes, will be that although they're both definitely world title and world-class fighters, I think that what Adam said at the beginning, I think that extra skill set that George Groves brings, that will be the difference on the evening.
Thank you, Callum. And obviously a big member of the team now, developing a very strong talent, a stable in British boxing, and taking George through those first 2 wins. Shane McGuigan, finally a fight for you to really get your teeth into with George Groves.
Yeah, I think this is the first real challenge for us as a team. I believe George is maturing a lot as a fighter. You know, he's taking his losses, you know, as a learning curve. And I believe what we're doing in the gym is going to show on the night. I think Martin Murray's not, you know, you can see the size difference there today. You know, George is a fully fledged super middleweight. He was 75 kilos as an amateur. You know, since he was 15, so he's a massive lump at super middleweight, and Martin's coming up, and I think that's going to be a big factor. Plus the skills in our hands. So I think it's a great fight for George at this stage of his career, and one I'm very, very confident he can win.
What do you feel will be the difference in the fight? Obviously, you talked about the size, but how do you see the fight playing out? Obviously, without giving too many tactics away, but I know that you're big on tactics. And what do you feel will be the defining difference? The skill set or other factors as well?
I think it's going to be skill. I think you know, clearly Mark can take a phenomenal shot. You know, he took Golovkin, who's a well-known puncher, in 11 rounds, and you know, by all accounts, apparently Golovkin doesn't rate your power. But I think Martin Murray will after the fight. I think you know George can definitely whack, and you know with the stuff that we're doing in the gym, it's all coming together. You know, he's sparred yesterday, is the best I've seen him, and we're quite a long way out from this fight. So I'm really excited for him to put on a performance. I think it's going to be fight for night.
George, obviously, same question. A couple of fights to get back into it, the Louisa and also Brophy, and now I know you want to be involved in big fights, and now you've got it on June 25th.
Yeah, thanks Eddie for introducing me first. Really looking forward to a great night, you know. I have to admit that I like Martin Murray. I've had a few big domestic rivals and domestic fights before, and I haven't much liked the guys before, but I like Martin. He speaks well. I think he's an intelligent chap. He fights like an intelligent fighter. He can navigate himself around the ring, and this certainly won't be an easy fight for any other reason apart from, as I say, I think he's an intelligent, clever fighter. He has moved up to super middleweight, and I don't think he's been tested properly against the best guys in there. Sorry, I know he's boxed Abraham, but I think this will be his hardest fight. What Murray does well, I know how to negate, and the things I do well, I can't see him having any answers for. And I'm not going to go into detail, but we're feeling really good in the gym. Things are going very well, and as Calla said earlier, we've both fell short at world title level, and a bit of misfortune, a little bit unlucky at times. We've both been soundly beaten, but the difference being, two difference being that you know, obviously when I lost, I felt against Froch the second time I was winning, I was gaining momentum into the fight, and it was a one-punch knockout, which not nice. But at the same time, Martin's clinical loss was against Golovkin, where he was soundly beaten from the get-go, and because he's an intelligent fighter, because he's certainly a tough man as well. He lasted a long time, but he took took a lot of punishment in that fight, and I personally haven't seen that sort of star quality that I feel we had before that fight, since that fight. Sure, you know, when I've boxed world titles, I've been mandatory. I've had to force the situation. I've had to force the fight at times. The difference with Martin is sort of a picked opponent at times. You know, he certainly fought and represented himself very well, but he's been, you know, like who ticks the right boxes at the time, and as I say, we've both been a little bit unlucky, fell short, but this is a fight that everyone can get excited about. You know, I'm excited about it. I think it will certainly steal the show. On paper, it looks great. Everyone should be excited about it. There's no other way you can describe this fight apart from it being, you know, a high output, big power punches going in. I'm looking to take Martin out. You know, I don't want to go 12 rounds. You know, I feel I'm punching harder than ever, working with Shane. I feel quick, I feel strong, I feel bigger, and I really want to make an assault on everyone in the division, become world champion, and reign for as long as can be. So this is the first step in that direction. So yeah, I hope you will enjoy it.
Do you feel that pressure, George? Obviously, you both had those world title opportunities. Do you feel that this is a must-win for both guys, and a defeat on June the 25th is not necessarily the end of the career, but the end of the opportunities at world level?
Whether they're the end of the opportunities or not, I think it's more down to a mental and emotional, you know, feeling between both of us. Both fell short enough times now to think, do we really want to go again? What I'd imagine is stimulating and exciting for Martin this time round is that he is in a domestic clash that will get a lot more praise and attention than he's had elsewhere when he's been sent abroad to get beat, so to speak. You know, he's always been the B side of the card. We're going to do our best to make sure he seems like he's the A side of the card this time. But again, he's with the home promoter, but he's the selected opponent for me right now because it serves his purpose. It's great for me because he's a very good fighter. As I say, I like Martin, but I'm looking forward to getting stuck into a great fight, winning, and moving on. And there's no thoughts of losing, so the answer is, I suppose.
Martin, the selected opponent. Apparently, I know that George was your selected opponent as well, so
yeah.
Something that you both share in that mindset.
Yeah, well, obviously I wanted the fight. I was the one who's pushing you for this fight. I've always wanted a domestic fight against top fighters, and that's what I've got in George Groves. You know, I've said it all along. I'm a George Groves fan. I rate him. He's a good fighter, and I've always said that I want to be in big fights against good fighters, and you know, I've got that for Groves. It's a tough fight. It's a genuine 50 fight. He's saying he likes me. I like him too. He's a good lad. But when it comes to fight nights, you know, it's a completely different thing. And you know, I'm saying it's a genuine 50-50 fight. It is on paper, but you know, it's great hearing George that confident because I'm as confident too. And you know, I think that's going to make a great fight.
Obviously, a lot of what George says, of course, correct. Facts show that. You know, you've been involved in those big fights abroad. We took the Abraham fight. It wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah.
But we felt like it was an opportunity that you could win, and you proved very, very close out there as well. But now, the big profile fight, and really the one that you wanted, and it feels like you've got a real spring in your step going into June 25th.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I've heard George saying, you know, select an opponent going over to get beat. Fair enough. You know, he could be right going over to get beat. I didn't go over to get beat, but you know, I took the fights nobody wanted. Nobody wanted to go and fight Golovkin. Do you know what I mean? I took the chance, go and fight Abraham. I'm not saying nobody wanted fighting, but you know, had that fight been anywhere but Germany, I'd have got the decision. Same with Sturm, and same with Martinez. I've took the big challenges. I've now got the big challenge at home, and people are going to see the best of me on June 25th.
Same question in terms of how you see victory in the fight. You like to force the pace, you like the high work rate.
Yeah.
Probably just a smaller man going into this fight, obviously you're moving up a division. Do you think work rate is it key, or how do you see yourself in
Yeah,
this fight?
I think work rate's the key. You know, George is going on saying he wants to take me out. That's what every fighter wants to do, and I want to do the same. You know, he is the bigger man, but you know he's got a three-piece suit on. I think he looks that bit bigger just by wearing that suit. But he is the genuine super middleweight. You know, I'm moving up, but you know I proved against a solid super middleweight in Abraham that I can mix it with them top solid world class elite fighters. So you know, I mean, I'm not going to go into too much tactics into this fight, but you know, George Groves is dangerous early. He's got stamina issues. You know, he fades late. It's well known. So I think the earlier the fight is, it favours Groves. The later the fight is, it favours me, and I think that's what makes it a great fight.
And same question, both of you have come short at world level. This one really a must-win fight for both of your careers.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, yeah. George touched on it there, saying, you know, emotionally and things like that, you know, you build yourself up into these world title fights and you fall short. It does get to you. And, you know, there's only so many times you can do it. But, you know, I look at all my fights and all my chances. You know, I've been in one war. My one war was Golovkin. You know, Groves is touching on saying, you know, he's never seen that since. You know, I've never been in a fight of that magnitude since. This is it for me on June 25th. You know, and you've seen Groves in his fights with Froch. Froch took a lot out of him on them two fights, and he knows that. And I think that's going to, you know, it's going to tell on June 25th when he's in a fight that tough, like it is against Froch, because, you know, I mean, I'm a lot more experienced. I've been in with a better class of opponents. He was in with one world-class fighter in Carl Froch. Barring Carl Froch, you know, I know we fought James DeGale, who's world-class now, but he wasn't world-class when he fought him. Badou Jack, he's world champion, but he's unproven yet. You know, I don't think he's an elite fighter. So the experience favours me, and I think that's going to be a big factor on the night.
Thank you, Martin. It's a fight I can't wait for. George Groves against Martin Murray. It's a big domestic fight that everybody can get their teeth into, and the guys up here are going to be available now for one-on-ones with you guys, and more action on Fight Week, and after we'll be at Sky Sports for a behind the ropes, or gloves are off. Forget what it's called. Gloves are off, that's the one. We love those, they're great. We all like a push and a pull, don't we? Thank you.